Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A frost warning has forced Detroit's only orchard and cider mill into drastic measures. Coming up, we'll tell you how the owner is scrambling to save her crop.
And that's because it is another chilly night across Metro Detroit with wind chills heading into the teens.
But we begin with breaking news in Lafayette Park. A high-rise apartment forced to evacuate after a fire erupts on the 4th floor.
Yeah, at least one child rushed to the hospital. Let's get to Tim Pamplin on the scene with the night cam. Tim.
The two-alarm fire sending the emergency services rushing to Lafayette Park. The building filling up with smoke.
Man, I'm gonna just be honest. It felt like 9/11. I was running down the stairway full of smoke. I couldn't see.
Fire breaking out on the 4th floor, but it didn't take long for the smoke to start permeating the entire structure.
I went out, it was worse than I thought. It was charcoal smoke, I couldn't see. I didn't think I was gonna make it out.
Smoke pouring out my electrical box, out my circuit breaker though.
It was all black. I couldn't see the wall on the other side. I couldn't see the lights that are in the hallway or the carpet. Like, it was just black.
EMS tell me a number of people have been treated for smoke inhalation here at the scene. One young child has had to be transported to Children's Hospital, again for smoke inhalation. People rushing out of the building, grabbing what they could, their pets, and maybe a warm jacket. Yes, tonight is not the night you want to be out on the streets. No cause of the fire just yet, but residents tonight just standing by, waiting to get back inside the apartment building. Some wrapped up in blankets, others waiting it out in their cars. That is the scene in Lafayette Park tonight with the night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Okay, Tim, and we are following more breaking news. This just in from Detroit's west side, where a 7-year-old boy has been shot. These are live pictures of the scene on Prairie Street, just west of Livernois. We're told the boy accidentally shot himself in the hand and leg and was rushed to the hospital. All right, shifting gears here to the freeze warning in effect for Metro Detroit.
Yeah, Ben, looking at temperatures even colder than last night.
Yeah, not only that, guys, but there's still going to be a little bit of a wind, so it's going to feel even colder than what that thermometer is going to register. And you really feel for those folks who are homeless tonight because of that apartment fire down in Lafayette Park. Let's look at current temperatures, which right now are starting to dip below freezing. The wind chills are already in the 20s, and of course they're going even lower by the time we start tomorrow morning. Here is your 4-zone forecast tonight, and the warmest wind chills are going to be in the low and mid 20s. That's in the metro zone. Lots of teens for feels here in the south zone tomorrow morning. 15 in Adrian, 16 in Tecumseh, maybe as mild as 19 in Luna Pier. All teens there for wind chills in the west zone, and pretty much the same goes if you're north of M59. May be able to stay at 20 in Rochester Hills and Richmond as we start tomorrow morning. Freeze warning does stay in effect until 8 a.m. Thursday, and then we say goodbye to the cold. That trough over the top of us starts moving out to the east and gets replaced by warmer temperatures. The big question is, how quickly can we get them in here? We'll look at that and some changes to the weekend forecast in just a few minutes. Guys?
All right, Ben, that freeze warning mildly annoying for anyone with plants outside, but it can be devastating for farmers and their crops.
That's exactly the case for Detroit's only orchard and cider mill, which is just off the Lodge Freeway on Lawrence Street. The owner put out the call to action tonight to get help in saving her apple crop. Jason Colthorpe there live tonight, where it appears help has arrived. Jason.
Boy, has it, Kim, and it has arrived all night long. Just spoke to a guy a minute ago who got the word once it went out on social media, went into his backyard, found all sorts of wood like this, brought it out along with all sorts of other wood. They need to burn fires here to warm the temperatures around these apple trees and the other crops, and they need to burn these fires all night long.
Take these barrels over here.
Leandra King is hustling to save her apple crop.
So it seemed like spring came early, and so our blossoms started popping out a little bit earlier.
Now that the trees have blossomed, they're vulnerable to freezing temps.
At first it was 29 degrees, and then yesterday we found out it's going to be 26 degrees. 28 degrees is the point where it could damage the blossom.
The first-time orchardist reached out to her network of friends and came up with a plan to fight off the coming frost.
We're going to create bonfires throughout the orchard, and we're focusing primarily on our apple trees just because of the limited barrels we have access to. It, in a sense, insulates the entire orchard.
But to keep the fires burning, King needed supplies, charcoal, wood, anything to keep them going until 6 a.m. And when word got out,
this is a normal wood delivering vehicle, I believe.
The city rallied around its only orchard and cider mill, including Eugene Rosen and his daughter Sasha.
There was no thought. We knew we had to jump into action. We knew that we had to get all the wood that we had laying around and bring it over and save these blossoms.
And every car that pulls up warms King's heart and her orchard a little bit more.
My heart is full. I can't say I didn't expect it because I know my city, and I did expect all the love.
And the fires are burning. Like I said, they're going to be burning all night long, all the way till 6 tomorrow morning. That's pretty much when they expect this 28-degree level to lift. And so they've got the fires burning in the cans. They're trying to keep them going. And if you're watching this and wondering if you can help, you can. This has got to go all night long. If you have wood, if you have charcoal you want to drop off, if you want to roast marshmallows and hang out, because they're going to be doing that all night long here, you can. Again, it's off the lodge, right off of Webb there. Back to you in the studio.
Wow. Okay. Well, Jason, what about the other crops in the orchard? Can those be saved too?
Well, they're working on that right now. It depends on everybody out there who's coming through. We blasted this out on social media earlier tonight on Local 4 and all our platforms, and people saw it and they've shared it a million times. Yeah. And now people are bringing things, but they have enough barrels to save the apple crops. Mm-hmm. If they can get enough to build smaller fires over this way, they can save the peaches or the plums, the pears, and the cherries. But right now it's up in the air. Kim?
Well, as she said, she knows her city, and people do turn out to help when something like this happens. So that's great. Okay, Jason, thank you.
All right, let's move to the coronavirus as Michigan passes 800,000 total cases and 17,000 total deaths.
Those totals come as the state reports 5,584 new cases and 45 more deaths today. Wayne State is incentivizing the vaccine. It'll add $10 to accounts of students who show proof of getting vaccinated. Tomorrow, Beaumont will accept walk-ins for the vaccine at its Southfield Service Center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Anyone 16 and older can go. Appointments are not needed.
New information tonight about an international cocaine trafficking operation being run out of Metro Detroit. In the mix, a now dead Grosse Pointe CEO and an alleged drug kingpin accused by the feds of trying to engineer a cocaine submarine to move drugs around the world. Mara McDonald live at the federal courthouse downtown. It's been a wild case since we first learned about it, and now, Mara, a grand jury with an indictment.
Devin, I know the details of this case sound absolutely fantastical to people, but they are all detailed in federal court documents that actually read like a thriller. Let me show you. 43-year-old Uli Didani is accused of running an international drug trafficking operation, indicted by a grand jury. Here's the tale of the accused drug kingpin and now deceased Grosse Pointe CEO Marty Tibbetts. The feds allege Didani was moving cocaine through Michigan to points across the globe, and he conspired with Tibbetts to craft a cocaine submarine nicknamed the Torpedo, which would affix itself to the bottom of container ships with magnets and be controlled by a modem and GPS antenna. On board the Torpedo, large quantities of cocaine. When those container ships would reach Europe, the cocaine sub would disengage and then be picked up by a fishing boat controlled by Didani's organization. Tonight, Didani has been indicted by a federal grand jury. Tibbetts died 2 years ago in a plane crash in Wisconsin. Acting U.S. Attorney Simon Mosen saying in a statement tonight, quote, "This is a very significant and important prosecution of a large-scale, well-organized drug trafficking organization involved in the distribution of thousands of kilograms of cocaine worth tens of millions of dollars across multiple continents." Back here live, the latest we're getting out of the feds as far as what they've intercepted from Didani's organization. They put it at about 3,400 kilos with a street value of around $100 million. We're live at the federal courthouse in downtown Detroit tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Mara, thank you. A Garden City man is now facing murder charges in the death of his ex-girlfriend who was found dead inside her burning home. Police say 36-year-old Robert Walton killed Jessica Sumter in her mobile home in Roseville and then set the home on fire. He was seen leaving the area just before it burst into flames. Sumter's death was ruled a homicide caused by asphyxiation with multiple stab wounds. Walton is charged with first-degree murder and arson. He's being held at the Macomb County Jail without bond.
A day after a jury found Derek Chauvin guilty in the murder of George Floyd, the focus is on shifting to preventing things like this from happening in the future.
The Justice Department has opened an investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department. The mayor of Minneapolis is calling on Congress to pass federal police reform as lawmakers negotiate on legislation. One of the witnesses who testified says he believes this will all result in change in policing.
It signifies the beginning of a new beginning because of it's going to put pressure nationwide for everybody to, put pressure on the cops to actually do their jobs the right way.
Derek Chauvin is now being held at a maximum security prison in Minnesota. He'll be sentenced in 2 months. Still ahead, a warning for those of us not getting 6 hours of sleep a night.
The health risks that are now being linked to sleep deprivation coming up.
And a man is accused of taking video of children inside an Oakland County mire. We'll tell you where it happened and what we know about the suspect.
But first, grief and anger in Columbus tonight after the deadly police shooting of a teenage girl.
Hey! What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey!
Police releasing video from the officer's body camera showing the chaotic moments before the shots were fired. We'll have it next.